Seclusion is a must in sadhana. Ekanath lived in the world with his wife and children, practiced devotional yoga, and attained Sayujya. Raja Janaka ruled over the kingdom of Mithila and attained Jnana amidst royal activities. Swami Vidyaranya, the author of the reputed Panchadasi, was the Dewan of Vijayanagaram. He worked as Dewan of the state, practiced meditation, and realized by remaining in the world. Sri Tilak and Sri Aurobindo have strongly preached this doctrine. The obstacles to yoga are not from outside but from within. If you have succeeded in perfect Pratyahara, you can remain wherever you like. This is all doubtlessly true, but just hear the other part of the story. Do not be one-sided. Look to the other side of the shield. This is plausible, sounds all right, but not feasible in the vast majority. It is easier said than done. Sri Aurobindo preaches realization amidst activity, but has shut himself in a closed room for the last 20 years. How many Janakas, Ekanaths, Vidyaranyas you have had? These people were really yoga brashtas. That is the reason why they were able to practice meditation in the world. It is absolutely impossible for the vast majority. To serve God and Mammon at the same time is extremely difficult. The mind can take up only one thing at a time. Swami Ramatirtha was a recluse in Brahmapuri for 2 years. Lord Jesus also was missing for 18 years. Lord Buddha went into seclusion for 6 or 8 years in the Urgula forest, the modern Buddha Gaya. Many had taken to seclusion during their sadhana period. Gautama Rishi writes in his Nyaya Sutras that mountain caves, sandbeds, the riverside and mountainside are all very favorable places for meditation. You can make a beginning in the world, but when you have advanced, you must shift to a suitable place with mountain scenery, or at the seaside, or places along the banks of beautiful rivers like the Nirmada or the Ganges. Such beautiful places exert a benign, elevating influence. Remember that the place must be of a temperate climate and must suit you during summer, during the rainy season, and in winter. You must stick to one place for 3 years with firm determination. As all places combine some advantages with some disadvantages, you will have to select that place which has more advantages and less disadvantages. Everything is relative in this world. You can hardly get a place that can satisfy you from all viewpoints. It is impossibility. You should not change when you encounter some inconvenience. You should put up with it. There is no use in wandering frequently. Do not compare one place with another. Maya will tempt you in various ways. Use your discrimination and reason. Mussoorie may appear to you most charming when you are at Simla. Simla may appear more delightful when you are at Mussoorie. Do not believe the mind and the senses any longer. Enough of their tricks. No more of their wiles. Be on the watch to guard yourself against sense deceptions and temptations. In the world, the environments are quite unfavorable. They excite, ignite, and kindle the nerves, the hidden past impressions, desires, and the senses. For some months you may remain secluded in a room and progress quite well with good concentration and meditation. All of a sudden some disturbance or the other comes and upsets your meditation. Your friends are your real enemies in a way. They drag you for some business or the other into the world. You are drawn forcibly through moral sentiments. It is irresistible. It is, of course, inevitable. You should see this as a form of weakness on your part. To sacrifice your ideal for the sake of pleasing some of your intimate friends is really far from commendable. By your mixing with these worldlings, your new spiritual impressions will get obliterated or effaced, and you will find it extremely difficult to regain your original state despite redoubled effort. Mixing with worldly-minded persons is highly disastrous to an aspirant. The two currents are diametrically opposite. A worldly-minded man and a spiritual aspirant move in diametrically opposite directions. A worldly man is very fond of talking. He is garrulous. He suffers from lingual diarrhea. Gossip, idle talk, long talk, big talk, tall talk, all these afford him the greatest pleasure. The aspirant, on the other hand, is a man of few words, to the point, and that also on spiritual matters. Worldly topics do not interest him at all. They give him acute pain. The mode of thought also differs in the two cases. In the instance of a worldly man, his thought hovers around his wife, children, and the way to amass wealth and get sensual pleasure. His thinking is shallow. An aspirant has sublime thoughts about God. A worldly man always does an action with a selfish motive. An aspirant does it unselfishly with a strong feeling that the whole world is nothing but his own self. If a worldly man has 100 rupees with him, he always thinks of saving for the future. An aspirant will spend the amount the same day. He is a man of simplicity. A worldly man wants company, but an aspirant should court solitude. He should remain alone. This is very, very important. I have to emphatically assert again that solitude is a sine qua non. I have to impress upon your mind that it is a great desideratum. If you have once tasted properly and to the very depth the happiness of solitude, you will never leave it at any cost. It is only those who have a preponderance of restless impressions that flutter about from Vrindavan to Varanasi, from Varanasi to Jagannath, like a wild butterfly. Quiet, solitary places like Swaragashram, Rishikesh, and Uttarkasi have a beautiful charm of their own. This is indescribable, it has to be felt and understood by the subtle discriminative intellect. A gross, worldly, practical intellect can never discriminate and understand the beauty and peace of such remarkable places, the supreme abode of rishis and sages. The spiritual vibrations that are present in these places can by themselves take a man to samadhi without much effort. The Himalayan vibrations and the soothing and soul-elevating influence of the holy Ganges can turn an inveterate atheist and materialist into a staunch spiritualist. Live for 3 months in these holy places and realize for yourself the charm, grandeur, and benign influence of solitude. Back to the point. In the world there are minds in various stages of growth. There are people of diverse mentality. There is a multiplicity of minds. There are two sets of currents, the currents of attraction and repulsion in the mind. When you mix with people of a different mentality, you are naturally attracted towards some and also repelled by others. Secondly, there is the current of jealousy also. When you see other persons who are in possession of higher virtues and assets, you are naturally affected during your early stages of spiritual practice. These hostile currents are unfavorable, so meditation suffers. Swami Sivananda.